Hey guys, this is Yellowtail Gaming, aka Nick K, aka that guy that stares at you from the bushes, and I'd like to thank Silent Warrior 1986 for giving me the suggestion here, and that suggestion is Eternal Warrior, which is a helmet, Juggernaut, which is a perk, and Universal Remote, which is a primary shotgun. Now the big thing about this is Juggernaut. The weapons and equipment on it don't matter as much as that very key point of using Juggernaut. Juggernaut, in case you did not know, spawns a protective shield right in front of your face. Compared to other shields, such as bullshit Warlock shields, this shield is spawned in front of you instead of on top of you. And why is that important? Well, it's important because any damage dealt to the shield is resolved on an entity separate from your character. So you can survive headshots from sniper rifles and even full-on blasts from shotguns without having any damage dealt to your character at all. In the round after this I was playing, I was using the Hakon's Hatchet, the Conspiracy Theory, and the Quillums just for comparison's sake, and I took 3 black spindle shots. He hit me, which should have been a kill with a headshot for the first round. The second shot was a body shot, and the third shot hit me again in the body and killed me then. There is no other situation where a regular old dude running around the Crucible could survive that, unless you're using Blade Dancer or Hammer of Soul, and even then a headshot will put you down real goddamn fast. If my voice sounds a little hoarse here, I'd like to apologize. I started recording at about 10:30. It is now 12:04. My microphone, I thought my microphone was all fucked up. It ends up, I just didn't have my cord plugged into my headphones right. So that was great. Back in the actual video though. Why does Universal Remote work for this? Eternal Warrior, I'm going to skip over entirely because I just don't like Unstoppable as a perk. I think there are better perks and better gear you could take over it. Because the the armor bonus from Fist of Havoc is already extremely high and almost nothing can kill you in the time it takes to slam. So the Universal Remote is good here. I think there are better choices. But the key point of it is that you have a ton of ammo. Every time you spawn, you have another 20 to 30 rounds of ammunition if you have the ammo buff on. No other shotgun can do that. My biggest issue with the Universal Remote is it's not as reliable, as consistent as other guns, such as the Party Crasher or the Conspiracy Theory, because it has a much lower damage than those weapons do. Granted, I don't have the exotic perk unlocked yet. I did on the Year 1 variant, so I know what it's like, and it doesn't change a whole lot. But it gives you rangefinder and increased precision damage, so you can push your range out just a little bit farther. But I don't think it helps it that much. What is this build? My build on this, I should probably go over first. So the build I had on this was flashbang grenades, so that when I was approaching a room, approaching a point, I could hurl a flashbang, get them blinded, and get in there, further increasing my rush potential. Fist of Havoc doesn't really matter. All of them are good. You see me with that flashbang right there. I'm a skill pro almighty right there, MLG. I don't know what that string of words meant, but it was words. Back to Fist of Havoc, though. None of the options really matter. Fist of Havoc is Fist of Havoc. You'll kill anything that gets near you using any of them. It's just basically what you feel is more important. Melee attack, once again, not very important. I chose the first option, which was reduced charge time, and then getting kills with Storm Fist had a chance to instantly regenerate it, just because I wanted that increased attack power as much as I could. I went with Headstrong for increased sprint speed and a longer Fist of Havoc Distance, and then of course I had Unstoppable and Juggernaut on. For the actual stats on it, the armor, recovery, agility, I went for as high in armor and recovery, not recovery, agility, two different words. I went for the highest agility and armor that I could because of the method that you have to play a class like this. It's designed that you get right next to your opponent and then you kill everybody, and in that kind of situation there isn't much time to recover. You can't hit somebody, duck behind a pillar, pop back out. Instead, you have to take 2 or 3 guys down without healing at all. So you're trying to get as close to your opponent as you can using the Juggernaut shield, which is where the high agility comes in, sprinting as fast as you can at them, getting as much of that damage absorbed by that shield as you can. And then you need a very high armor rating to absorb the rest of the damage until you can get within kill distance. What is this build good for? Well, it excels incredibly at objective-based game modes such as Rift or Control, and even Salvage. I didn't play Salvage, but you know, I can imagine it works there too. And that's because you're rushing a point that probably has 2 or 3 people on it. And when they see you coming, they're going to start pumping you full of lead. This works better than Shoulder Charge because while Shoulder Charge will instantly resolve a conflict with one person, you then have had a huge amount of damage dealt to you by the others and have to wait until your weapon is ready to shoot again. This situation, you can get in there, you can shoot somebody, and you have no damage dealt to you at that point, and you've already negated one of the players from the equation. So then you just have to wait for the gun to pump, and you're on to the next guy. I wanted to use a fusion rifle, a quick-fire fusion rifle, to push out into that medium range a little bit better. However, I realized I did not have a quick-firing fusion rifle. I only have 2 of the Dead Orbit ones, which are massively high impact, and then a bunch of Pliant Seeds. I had like 4 of those. I don't know why. I deleted them. But, so nothing I could really use. So I went with a sidearm, which was a bit closer ranged than I wanted it to be. Sidearms roll in that close to medium range, that close mid-range, whereas a fusion rifle can push mid and even mid-long if you have a good enough fusion rifle.
Zone B neutralized.
Do I like this build? It was a hell of a lot of fun. Yes, I like this build. I think Juggernaut should be used a lot more because of the huge survivability bonus that you get while using it. But I think there are some better weapons and armor you could have chosen. For example, instead of Eternal Warrior, maybe you go with Twilight Garrison. I think Twilight Garrison will work very well here to give you the increased mobility of that dodge. Instead of the Universal Remote, maybe use the Suros to get a medium-range engagement distance, and use the Conspiracy Theory for your rushing attacks. As long as you have special ammo, that Conspiracy Theory is a much more consistent experience than the Universal Remote will ever be. So final thoughts here. This build, it works. It doesn't go much beyond it, it doesn't fall short of it. What you're trying to do is get right next to your opponents, rush into a point real fast, and clear it out with your shotgun, and it works for that. However, if you feel inclined to use Juggernaut, I already said there are better options for weapons and equipment. I probably won't be using this very often. It was amusing to use. The Universal Remote is just an amusing weapon, but it wasn't good. It wasn't exceeding anything else. If you've made it this far in this video, you're a goddamn champion. I love you. I'd like you to try using Juggernaut. Try building out a class for Juggernaut. See how it works for you. You might be surprised by how well it does. And, end of the video here. I'll let this tick out in the background. I'd like to say thank you for, bearing with this through me. Those were words. None of them really matched together, but they were words. If you have anything you'd like to you need a question resolved on that I didn't explain very well, or you have something else you'd like to see, there I failed on a Fist of Havoc. You'd like to know why I suck so much. You can go ahead and ask the question down below. And please try to keep the rats out of your bushes. They're really getting to my ankles.
Zone C neutralized.
If you could do that, I'd be very appreciative. Of course, like and subscribe, and see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.
Zones controlled. Targets eliminated. Nice work.